But our top story tonight, just ahead of the Lok Sabha election, the Narendra Modi government has played the Ram Mandir card. The centre today filed a plea in the Supreme Court seeking permission to return the excess undisputed Ayodhya land around the disputed land to the original owners, including the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas. The move has predictably sparked off a political divide. Different groups are alleging that the government is desperate, while others are saying this is much needed. It's our top story tonight.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में भी कहा है कि संविधान की मर्यादाओं में हम इसका समाधान करेंगे.
Less than a month after Prime Minister Modi promised a constitutional solution to the shrill chorus for a Ram Mandir at the disputed Ayodhya site, the centre has now come out with a mega Mandir push, moving the Supreme Court for return of surplus land adjoining the 0.313 acres of disputed site to the original owners, the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas.
The central government is not touching at this moment to the disputed structure where it was 0.3 acres of land, where the title suit is pending. That we are not touching at the moment. We are doing this, giving back the land for Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas and other owners.
The government move less than 100 days before general elections sparked a flurry of reactions from the stakeholders.
I am surprised that some people are objecting to an application. We would have been happy if it had happened earlier. But then, whenever it has happened, it's a good move.
तो हम तो अपना जवाब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में रखेंगे ही. इसके मस्जिद के तीन तरफ तो हमारी कब्रिस्तान की ज़मीन है. उसके बाद चौथी तरफ भी है. उसके बाद इनकी ज़मीन कहाँ पे है राम जन्मभूमि न्यास की, ये तो अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आएगा. तफसील से जब आएगा तो उस पर बहस होगी.
The move also left the Hindu litigants in disarray.
अगर ये फैसला हाई कोर्ट ने या सरकार ने लिया है तो जो वर्तमान जमीन है सरकार के अधीन वो अगर न्यास को मिलती है तो उससे हम काम आरंभ कर सकते हैं.
और जो जमीन सरप्लस है एक्वायर्ड उसको अपने बेनिफिशियल एंजॉयमेंट के लिए इस्तेमाल करें. अगर उनसे कुछ छूट जाए न करना चाहें तब ओरिजिनल ओनर को रिवर्ट होगी.
While the opposition saw a clear communal plot to influence the 2019 elections.
आज भारत सरकार ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो अर्जी लगाई है, मैंने सुबह ही कह दिया कि हम उसका अभिनंदन करते हैं और देश के सौहार्द के लिए मुझे लगता है कि यह कदम आवश्यक था. मैं और हमारी पूरी सरकार इस पूरे निर्णय का हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं.
Honorable Uddhav ji has criticized, very severely criticized, and he has said it, that the mandir wahi banayenge, tarikh nahi batayenge. That sort of criticism he has done. How many people died in Asharyu? Have you ever thought of it? Do you remember it? Then the people who died for the Ram temple, don't you feel it is a top priority? It should have been done by the government, and it is. I still feel it is the duty of the government, not of the court.
With just 4 months for the general elections, the centre is feeling the pressure from a restive saffron Parivar which wants temple at all costs. Is the centre's move a desperate one to placate its biggest constituency? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions then right at the top tonight. Will the Narendra Modi government's plea in the Supreme Court, is it just a bid to keep the Mandir pot boiling? Is the Modi government's latest plea an effort to buy time? Will the new Mandir push placate Sangh Parivar outfits? Why did the Modi government wait till now, just before the elections, to file the plea? Is the Modi government putting pressure on the judiciary in the Ayodhya case? Is the Sangh Parivar also divided over the Modi government's latest gambit? Just some of the questions we'll raise tonight. Joining me now, my colleague Ajit Jha, editor research here. I'm also joined by other guests who've been directly involved in this contentious issue. Mahmood Pracha is a member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board and a senior lawyer. Also with us is Anup Chaudhary, who's representing the Sunni Waqf Board in the case. He's also a senior advocate connected to the Congress party. I'm also joined by Vinod Bansal of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, all of them in my studio. And Nalin Kohli, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. You tell us then, Mr. Kohli, because you're also a lawyer, what suddenly prompted the government to bring this application before the Supreme Court? Why is the government running out of patience when the status quo has been on time and again in Supreme Court orders? It has been said maintain the status quo in Ayodhya. Why is the government now trying to put pressure on the Supreme Court?
Mr. Sardesai, there are two parts to this. The first part is related to the disputed structure, which is what is the main issue, or which is the main. It's the challenge to the judgment of the Allahabad High Court. In that case, I think you will have to bear in mind, this is not that the government is trying to, act in a manner which is uncalled for, because the government has always wanted an early solution. And that thing would be noticed in terms of the hearings that took place in 2017, 2018. And what the government's point has been that it should come to an early solution.
No, that is as far as the disputed land goes. Even on the undisputed land, Mr. Nalin Kohli, the Supreme Court on more than one occasion has said that the status quo must be maintained on the surrounding land. And the manner in which this is being done just 3 months before the election certainly suggests that the government is running out of patience or is desperate to placate the Sangh Parivar, which wants the Ram Mandir building process to start before the elections. Which is it? Why suddenly now?
It's not about the Sangh. I've understood. I'll tell you, because A, there is no hearing taking place, one. Two is that there are people from the Congress party or from the other constituents or those who are parties here or in pleaders, they have all been trying to delay this. It's been delayed a lot. Now, this is not the disputed land. This was acquired in 93. In 2003, there is an interim order, and that interim order continues after the Allahabad High Court judgment in 2003 itself. That can be altered. The government has a right to bring it up with the land, which is not the intrinsic thing, which is in terms of the disputed structure land, which is the challenge before the Honorable Supreme Court.
The government must allow the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas and the Sunni Waqf Board to debate this.
Second,
the government must allow the two sides to debate it in court. You cannot say the matter is not being heard. It was not heard today because one of the judges was not present. But that doesn't mean the matter is not being heard.
No.
Clearly, the impression goes that the government wants to put pressure on the Supreme Court to expedite the matter. That's not the job of the government. The government's duty is to the constitution of the country, not to a particular community or the Sadhu Sant Samaj.
Okay, you're finished. Now, there are 4 questions in what you said in your long statement. The first is the government has a duty to the people of India in upholding the constitution. No, let me answer it and function as per the constitution. And there is nothing that the government has done today which is anti-constitutional. Number 1. Number 2, let me also clarify the status quo. This land is where the facilities for people to go in terms of tarpaulins, in terms of the pathway. And repeatedly, under Supreme Court directions, the government has brought in that we need to change this and all, and orders have been passed. So let us also be clear what this land is. It's about facilities of enabling the pilgrims who go there to be able to access the place where the actual idols are placed. So it is not as if nothing has been happening since 2003. Regularly, these hearings take place in this said suit or in this said case. And on those occasions, when the government puts out its point, the court adjudicates on it. So I think we should be clear about also, it's not as if this matter is lying. And the last is, it's not about the government trying to, in a way, threaten the court or try to pressurize the court. But the government's point of view is that an early solution should be there. And with regard to that, what is not the court's problem, why shouldn't the government not exercise what it has its right to do? The court has a right to adjudicate on it.
Okay.
We shall await to see what the court does, whether it will be referred to a larger bench, whether it will be overturned the order, modified, or will be continued. That is in the domain of the court to decide.
Okay. Effectively, Mr. Pracha, you've heard what has now been said. Here is the government saying, look, we are not directly intervening in the matter. We are only seeking, in a way, an early resolution of the dispute, and this is one step towards it. At least if the land which was originally with the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas is given back to the Nyas, they can do what they want with that land around the disputed area. We will not touch the disputed area, is what is being suggested.
Rajdeep, I beg to disagree with you, and Mr. Narendra Kohli especially, because he says he's made a categorical statement that government wants an early solution. In fact, it's just the opposite. Today, when the entire country was looking up to final resolution of Ayodhya matter, they have put in an application which is now going to delay it further. And mark my word, this issue is now going to be taking precedence over the main issue. So that is exactly what they want, to keep the pot, as you rightly said in the beginning, to keep the pot of Ram Mandir burning, fool Ram Bhakts, and try to garner once more. So you are saying this move will only further delay the entire process. That's what you are saying. Vinod Bansal respond. क्या आप मानते हैं कि इससे और मामला और डिले हो जाएगा? निर्मोही अखाड़ा ने भी ये कहा है आज कि ये हमें तो मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे. That is on the disputed side. अब सरकार कह रही है, let us first discuss what should be done with the undisputed side. पराचा जी का कहना है इससे मामला और डिले होगा.
देखिए, पराचा जी का तो वो इनके ब्लड में ही उसको डिले करना है, क्योंकि इनकी जो पूरी कम्युनिटी है उसको डिले करने में ही विश्वास करती है. आपको पता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 1.5 साल हो गया सुनवाई स्टार्ट की हुए. अगस्त 2017 में सुनवाई हुई, आज तक एक भी हियरिंग राम जन्मभूमि के केस में नहीं हो पाई. 10 बार कोर्ट बैठा, लेकिन एडजॉर्नमेंट डेट पे डेट चलता रहा, और ये लोग उसको प्रमोट करते रहे.
मिस्टर चौधरी, यू आर डिनाइंग दैट. यू आर डिनाइंग दैट देयर हैज बीन एन एडजॉर्नमेंट.
आपने जो बात की बिल्कुल ठीक है. कभी हमारा जो क्लेम है ओरिजिनल लैंड पे है, जन्मभूमि पर मंदिर बनाएंगे और मंदिर बना के रहेंगे. लेकिन हाँ, जो हमारी जो अनडिस्प्यूटेड लैंड है, आखिरकार उसको एक्वायर करके रखने का क्या लॉजिक है? एक बात और बताऊं लास्ट में. देखिए 1993 में
if you tomorrow start the construction on the undisputed land around the disputed land, effectively you are putting pressure on the court. Effectively at a time when the court repeated orders have said status quo. Yes, Sarkar.
Who is pressurizing the court? Do you know who is pressurizing the court? Those who are threatening the court. Those shouting brigade is threatening the court. Personally, they are filing the impeachment motion against the CJI.
Okay,
are they not threatening?
Okay,
but
one minute, sir.
Why the land
और लोग भी हैं, let them answer.
आपने
allegation किया है, Anup Chaudhary. The allegation is that you have been deliberately, you are of the Sunni Waqf, you represent the Sunni Waqf board. Your strategy has been to delay the proceedings at all costs. Is the charge being made? Therefore, according to the VHP, they are running out of patience.
In fact, I don't think he is aware of anything in this matter. Wow. Not a single party, either Muslim or Hindu party, moved an application for early hearing. Till last year, January,
but delay.
One minute, please. You have no idea. You do not know what.
Who has caused the delay?
No, Vinodji, I will let you speak, sir. Vinodji, please let everybody get equal time.
Please have patience. I'll tell you exactly what the situation is. When question of translation of the documents were to take, there are 50,000 pages of documents. Every party raised their hands before the court, saying, sorry, we are not in a position to translate.
Except Ramlala
Then the Supreme Court, 1 minute please.
Except Ramlala Virajman.
No, nobody.
Ramlala Virajman
and
the government of Uttar Pradesh completed their work on time.
Sir, I will let you, Vinodji, this is not fair.
Know anything.
Nobody has intervened with you, please don't intervene.
I'm just correcting it.
No, you are not.
That's your view, let him give his view, you can correct it later, yes.
You see, then the Supreme Court directed the state of Uttar Pradesh to ensure the translation of all the documents. This could only get fully right, when they say the case was ripe for hearing, only last year when the court started to hear. And Justice Mishra's order was very clear. He says only those, we will treat this as a title suit. He said so openly in the court. Secondly, we will not permit any interventions to those who are not parties before the civil suit. Now, by this application, what do they want? They want a recall of the order in Aslam Bhure's case made by the Supreme Court consciously in 2003 on each specific point. What they are arguing now were argued then there. The court did not accept it. He says, I'm sorry.
They want the status quo lifted. Effectively, they want the status quo lifted, and the land which the court very clearly said cannot be used at that time for religious purposes till such time as the order is passed. They want it now to be the undisputed land as well. Was in the
regarding undisputed land, court has said nothing.
No, it has
regarding undisputed land.
You have no idea.
Because you see, in 1993, the government of India has given the affidavit in the Supreme Court. If you remember, in 1993, the government of India has given the Supreme Court
Mr. Paracha affidavit saying that it is proved. Mr. Paracha, you cannot take over the debate.
Then the entire land will be.
Sir, I will give equal time. I will let you respond, but not in the middle. Mr. Paracha, you want to respond though to the basic point as to the stand being taken by the government and by the VHP is give us the undisputed land. It was our land. Allow us. It will not affect, according to them, the original title dispute over the Ram Janmabhoomi Garbhagriha. Okay. You tell us now.
In 2003 also, court makes observations that say one thing in the court and say just the opposite outside. But I am only reading the order of 2011 of the Supreme Court, where not the Supreme Court says status quo. All the parties jointly, including them, and I am only reading 3 lines.
Please read it.
So these lines, I am only reading this, that there is a complete unanimity on maintaining status quo, and all the parties are in agreement that order may be passed for maintaining status quo on disputed site and on adjoining land.
And on adjoining
land. Always.
Sorry.
2003. Again.
Adjoining doesn't mean the entire 67 acre
yes,
land.
It does.
No, not at all.
So don't lie. And
adjoining doesn't.
Don't lie.
You see, what do you want? Achha, 1 minute. And sir, 1 minute. Now you answer direct question, and then you must not intervene with anyone. What do you want to use this adjoining land for? Please tell me. You have always said Mandir wahi banayenge. You have said it will be built on the disputed land. What do you want this the remaining part of the 67 acres to be used for? Kya karna chahte ho usse?
It is to be decided by the honorable the Sanghs, which is being sitting on 31st of this month. Also. They will decide, and you will get the outcome of that.
Okay, so the Sanghs will decide. Now you are seeing what is being played out, Ajit Kumar Jha. This is happening just on the eve of election. The government has been in power, Mr. Modi's government, for 4.5 years. They had committed to a Ram Mandir. Now suddenly they are saying, please give the land to the Sadhu Samaj. They will decide what can be done with the undisputed land. Do you believe this is basically to placate the Sadhu Samaj, that we are trying to do something for you?
It's very obvious, Rajdeep. 100 days before the election, suddenly the NDA government, which was sleeping on this issue for more than 4.5 years, suddenly wakes up and says, ki now moves a petition. As one of our speakers pointed out, it is further delaying the court. Now, think of it, Rajdeep. If there is a disputed site, and the Supreme Court on numerous occasions have pointed out that the disputed site is inextricably linked to the adjoining area, because, as you rightly pointed out, if you end up building temples all around it, then the very nature of dispute will change, because there will be no access to it in case the other side wins, right? So the point is, and the more important question here is, why 100 days before the election? So both the issues show that it is a political ploy and nothing else.
Nalin Kohli, you must answer that. Why, as Ajit Kumar Jha is raising, why 100 days? You have had 4.5 years of the government. Suddenly on the eve of elections, as opinion polls show your party declining in UP, BSP, SP coming together, the Sant and Sadhu Samaj getting restive. Suddenly the Modi government seems to have decided, no, let's acquire the land and give them something, even if we cannot give them everything. That's the real logic. And you are playing with fire, sir. As a result, you are playing with fire.
No, sir. First, let me clarify that in 17, which was about 900 days or maybe 1,000 days or 800 days, whatever days ago, this matter was being heard. Who delayed it? The advocate for Iqbal Ansari said, let's do it after 2019. Who linked it to the 2019 elections? Not the BJP, not any of the parties on the Hindu side. And I'm putting it as bluntly as this. Then came the next argument, let's revisit the Mohammad Farooqi case. That where the question was, with regard to the masjid being intrinsic to Islam, there was already a judgment on it. So then the whole hearing went on that track, it had nothing to do with it. So I think we need to bear in mind that delaying tactic has never been on the part of the government. The government has wanted it. Or with regard to the parties who say that a temple should be built there, the delay has been on the other side who say that maybe we want to prevent a temple from being built there. So the delay is from there and the government has to be blamed for it. When then there was, when the movement came for an early, no, I'm pointing out to 18, I'm going timeline. In 18, when it came up before the new Honorable Chief Justice of India, at that time an application was moved for an early hearing. The Honorable Chief Justice kept the date in January. The government has been following up. Then the bench was formed. There were two reasons. First, Justice Lalit had to recuse himself because he had appeared in one matter. Justice Bobade was not available on the 29th today. So we'll wait for the date. In the meantime, where is there? I'm asking a blunt question. How are any of the people on the panel trying to raise a question with regard to the land in which they are not involved at all? So tomorrow this argument can go even beyond. Wait a minute, till the Ayodhya main Ram Janmabhoomi issue is there on that 0.3 or 2.77 acres, nothing should happen in Ayodhya because it may
but that's what the court has said in repeated orders. It's not these gentlemen, that's what the court has said. But Anup Chaudhary, okay.
So I mean the point is the dispute is only 2.77.
Agreed. The dispute is only, no, 1 minute.
Dispute is only 0.3 acre.
He doesn't even agree with Narendra Koli. He doesn't even agree with Narendra Koli.
He has no idea what is going on.
Do you have the record? Do you have the record? What the government of India has filed today? Sir, this is the only 0.313 acre land.
Okay,
please let those advocates clear.
That is your view. There is another view where the status quo has to be maintained.
This is a misrepresentation of the fact, sir.
Okay, but I want to know, Anup Chaudhary, isn't it a fact that Kapil Sibal and lawyers who appeared in the court last year did ask that the matter be deferred till after the 2019 elections are heard? To that extent, at least in the court, there was an attempt made to push this matter beyond the 2019 elections.
He was appearing for a private client.
He was.
Not for Sunni Waqf Board. I myself went on to the TV and I said...
Is Sunni Waqf Board ready for a day-to-day hearing?
Yes, we are.
Oh. Even now we are ready for a day-to-day hearing?
Absolutely.
You are ready today for a day-to-day hearing?
Yes.
But
are you ready for a day-to-day hearing? No, 1 minute. Are you ready for a day-to-day hearing?
We have appealed so many times. We have appealed so many times.
Why not? Party.
No, Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas.
No. But are you not aware of it that who challenged the new bench that ULLIT should not be there? Who said?
Nobody challenged it.
No. Who said that why the Muslim judge is not there in the new bench?
No, nobody said about the Muslim.
Nobody has said that. I have heard that. I haven't heard that. Please do not. No, sir. Please show me
one of the litigants from Ayodhya. Why?
I'm sorry. This should not be said.
Entire country knows it.
This is not.
No, sir. You should not. No. Please do not spread fake news.
No.
Please show me where.
I'm not.
Please show me where any of the parties. Core parties have said there should be a Muslim judge on the bench.
Ansari, who is the main litigator, the case
I will go by what he said in the Supreme Court, sir. Okay.
He has given the right to ANI. Your
sir, 1 minute. I will go.
If you are misrepresenting the fact,
Vinod Bansal, you cannot once again shout others down. But Ajit Jha, is there somewhere in the way this is being played out? As I said, you are playing with fire. You are creating on the eve of the elections a possibility of this issue now being positioned in a manner where Hindus versus Muslims will be pitted once again at election time.
Obviously, the narrative which was earlier the development agenda of the Modi government, which the Modi government was very well sort of, communicating to the masses, is somehow being derailed with this new agenda where you create a kind of a Hindu versus Muslim right before. Why, Rajdeep, the basic question is, if the case has been delayed for 25 years, why suddenly the urgency that in 3 months you want to solve this case where 50,000 pages of documents are lying, any reconstitution of the so-called bench by the Chief Justice, which he has a total prerogative, anyone coming has to read the documents.
But there will be those, Mr. Paracha, who will say, how long do we continue to debate this? How long will this matter continue to be heard in the court, given the fact that this has now gone on for several decades? That's the question that will be raised, that somewhere the Sadhu Sant Samaj is today saying, we are running out of patience. what would you tell them today? Those who are saying we are running out of patience.
Nirmohi Akhada has given the right answer.
That is exactly what the point is.
Nirmohi Akhada is opposed to this application by the government.
I am asking the larger question of Sadhu Sant Samaj, who says that we want this, we believe that this matter has gone on for too long.
This question has to be asked from BJP and RSS. Why have they been leading the Sanghs and Ram Bhakts in a garden path, which they know is not going to happen? That is their biggest fault. That is exactly what we are saying. They are leading them to garden path. They are rousing them against the Supreme Court. They are rousing them against the Constitution of India, and they are creating disloyalty in the Ram Bhakts, blaming the Supreme Court, not themselves. They are promising that we will build masjid, Mandir, you give us votes. This is exactly our point.
Okay, I think we've got all sides to the story.
First of all, I would like to clear. This is the application
we have gone out of that topic.
This is the Government of India in the Supreme Court today. What this page number 5 of the last paragraph of the page number 5 says, the disputed land is comprised in the area at measuring 0.313 acre over which it's wrong.
I'll tell you why.
Wrong.
Yes, because the High Court judgment divided it into three parts.
What about advocate you are? It's very surprising. It's very surprising.
Sir, let him speak.
Not him.
Well, I am only in practice for the last 52 years. It's not even your age.
My dear sir, this is the paper filing.
Wrong statement.
It's a wrong statement.
If this is going to continue, I have to give time out. Unfortunately, our viewers need to hear both sides. You've made your point. You claim it is only 0.3 acres of land that is disputed. The rest you believe is not. Now you make your point and let's end it there.
The High Court in its judgment divided into three parts, 2.77 acres.
Where is it written? Tell me.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. This is the nature of a dispute. That's never going to end.
I'll show you the priest.
Okay,
Mr. Kohli,
my take.
Not us.
Thank you all very much. My take. Just a minute. By seeking the Supreme Court's nod for giving a part of the 67 acres of land around the disputed Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid site to the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas, the Narendra Modi government is playing with fire. By intervening at a time when the court is hearing the main title dispute, the government could well be accused of trying to pressurize the court to fast forward the contentious land issue in favor of one side. One might understand the government's compulsions. Building a Ram Mandir at the disputed site has been a long-standing commitment of the BJP, one that it has failed to implement so far. With the more extreme elements of the Sangh Parivar getting impatient, the Modi government is hoping to placate them just ahead of the elections by kick-starting the temple building process. This obviously could consolidate the BJP's core Hindu vote in the crucial state of UP. And yet the Modi government must realize that its primary commitment is not to a single religious community, but to a plural, multi-faith democratic constitution. Whatever its ideological moorings, a government in power represents all Indians, not the Sadhu Sant Samaj or the majority community alone. Enough blood has been shed in the name of the Mandir. All sides must now wait patiently for a court verdict instead of trying to short-circuit the legal process. Mr. Modi must have only one holy book before him. It's called the Constitution of India.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.